the Google Pixel 8 good enough? And I want to talk about that because, well, been a lot of stuff in the news lately about the Pixel 8 Pro. Of course, it got the new Gemini Nano, the AI update that, of course, allows for smart replies with Gboard. It's going to be extended to WhatsApp and other messages later, and also summaries or summarization for the Recorder app. There's just a lot of stuff there. They also got Video Boost. So there's a lot of excitement for the Pixel 8 Pro, and then it's like, that stuff's not on the Pixel 8. And I know a lot of people are looking at this phone because they get questions about it, and it's on sale right now for $549. So I haven't talked about this phone a lot because I'm a little frustrated that it's missing some of the cool AI stuff. When you look at the phone, and it's got the same Google Tensor G3 as the Pixel 8 Pro. So I'm like, a lot of this stuff should really extend over. And some people say, well, it's because it has 8 gigs of RAM, it doesn't have 12, which I don't buy into that too much because a lot of the stuff can be done or is done or could make allowances for to do it on the server. Because some of the stuff that's done on the Pixel 8 Pro, it starts on the Pixel 8 Pro and then it gets sent to the Google server so it can handle the rest of it, like with Video Boost or Magic Editor, things like that, and then send it back. So, I don't know. I need to maybe do some more research and see if I can come up with an answer for that. But ultimately, you're getting the Pixel 8 and not the 8 Pro. So maybe, understandably, somebody might not have the expectation to have some of those more pro-level features. And we get the same thing with the iPhone 15. It's not quite as pro-level as the Pro and the Pro Max. Well, there's still a lot of good things to like here. 4,500 milliamp battery, 6.2-inch screen, 1080p, 120 hertz, HDR10+, 2000 nits brightness. There are a lot of things to like here. I mean, if you just look at it year over year, from the Pixel 6 to the 7, from the 7 to the 8, I mean, this is the best one yet, and the smaller category, and you get a good selfie, you get great camera capabilities on the back, you're just missing the telephoto lens, but you can still do macro, which is something that's nice. So you can still do macro because it has the ultra wide, so I like that. And of course, you can still do things like the magic eraser, your translator, the summarize. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with it. It's just not the smartest smartphone. It's the half as smartest smartphone. But for people who like Google and people who like the Pixel phones, it's very good. It's a very good experience, beautiful screen. It's also got the fingerprint scanner. It's got facial recognition. You can do your biometrics for like your banking apps and stuff with it, which is also nice, which is something that the smart AI and the computational stuff, machine learning built in with the Google Tensor and Android 14 allow you to do. Of course, it's running Android 14 and it's supported for 7 years. So this phone, at the $549 price point, 7 years of support, Google Tensor 3, also the good camera setup that's got on it, beautiful screen, 2000 nits brightness. I mean, the max brightness on this outside is higher than that of the S23 Ultra and a lot of other flagship phones. So Google really went out of their way and addressed a lot of the problems that we had with these phones. I know the charging is still on the slow side, but that's to help preserve the battery over the long haul, because the more higher, at least the philosophy is, the higher, faster charging speeds can degrade the battery faster. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but I like this phone. And I think there's a lot to like here, especially at $549. I'm not so crazy about it at $699. I really felt like they should have kept it about $599, especially since they're leaving a lot of those cool features that I kind of expected, because as a Tensor G3, the Google Tensor G3 is a very capable processor, very powerful, 9 cores, right about 3 gigahertz, and it can handle a lot whenever it comes to the machine learning and the AI processing and Google's algorithms, all the stuff that they do. And it's just going to get better and better, but I feel like it is a step down, and I think they've done that intentionally because they want people to reach for the Pro. Like, if you want those extra features, it's kind of built into the Pro. So I think they still could have kept the Pixel 8 maybe at, I don't know, $649, maybe would have been more fair. But the fact that it's cheaper right now, and instead of $699, you can get it for $549, I think that's a good deal. And I don't think from a day-to-day experience, you're missing too much whenever it comes to a lot of the things and a lot of core features that Google Pixel fans like. You get the nice screen, you get all-day battery life, and you still get the nice 120 hertz refresh rate, which is great for scrolling and for your apps and for entertainment. It's got decent speakers on it. Bluetooth is solid. 4K 60 front and back for your video. So I like a lot of stuff that's here, and I think it's a very capable phone at that price point. It's just, if you want the Pro, you got to get the Pro. But the nice thing is the Pro is actually $799 right now. So instead of $999, you can get it for $799 at Best Buy. I've got links for both of these phones in the description. Also, from what I was reading, if you're a YouTube Premium member, you can get an additional discount over from the Google website. So you might want to look into that also. You might could save some more money that way. But yeah, I nobody really talks about this phone. Everybody talks about the Pro. Everything's Pro, 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 Pro. And I'm guilty of some of this myself because the Pro is so exciting. The color is exciting. The camera's exciting. The AI features exciting. The updates are exciting. And a lot of the December update quarterly feature drop stuff really kind of lended its ear towards, the Google Pixel 8 Pro. But we also had like 40 different fixes for the Google platform. And that just shows the commitment that Google has. They're keeping things up to date. They're monitoring their phones, checking for vulnerabilities, trying to improve the software experience. And I think they've done a pretty good job with that. So I think that puts this phone in a good position because at $549, it's still quite a bit cheaper than basically anything else in the category. Other than my fan favorite, the Motorola ThinkPhone, which is still $399. And honestly, I would probably consider buying that over this. And they're even updating it every month. So I really like the ThinkPhone. Of course, the Pixel 8 is going to get 7 years of support, not the 4 years of support that the ThinkPhone does. Understandably, the Pixel has a better camera. It does have more AI features, but just from a straight up day-to-day perspective, flagship level experience, Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1, lots of good things. The ThinkPhone is a very, very good phone, especially at $399. So if you're looking between the Pixel 8 and the ThinkPhone, I would say go buy the ThinkPhone. But if you really, really want the Pixel, right now is a good time to get it because you can get it at a significantly reduced cost. It's only a couple of months old, and that's why I wanted to make this video. It's holiday shopping season. A lot of people are looking at this, looking to buy phones for themselves, for loved ones, for upgrading. They gave it a couple of months, got a couple updates under their belt, got the quarterly feature drop, saw kind of how the cards fell with this in the Pro, and I think it's a good phone. I like the size. I like how nice and handheld, very easy to use, one-handed, nice day-to-day flagship experience, plenty of power, plenty of sophistication here, and I think it's a sharp-looking phone. And one nice thing about the Pixel 8 versus the Pro is it has the matte camera finish on it, on the camera bar on the back, so it's less susceptible and doesn't show things like fingerprints and scratches and things like that, and it's still got the nice finish on the back. I just wish it had the babe blue color because I really, really, really like that color. But yeah, I think there's a lot to like here. I think it's a very good, capable phone. I think if you want one that's going to last for several years, the Tensor G3, at least from my experience with it, from what I've heard other people say about it, has been a very good experience. Battery life has been better. Heat issues have been better. Standby time has been better. And overall performance of the phone has just, well, quite frankly, been better. And I think maybe some of these other features, we got the Gemini Nano AI stuff that's rolled out to the 8 Pro. It's conceivable it could roll out further to the Pixel 8 at some point in time. Maybe other phones, and they're just testing it with the Pro first. But like I say, and some other people say, you buy the phone for what it can do now, not what it possibly could do later. Because sometimes later just doesn't show up, or it doesn't come to fruition. So buy what fits best in your budget, at your price point, with the features you want that makes you happy. And a lot of people like the Google Pixel phones. They might not want an iPhone. They might not want a Samsung phone. Might not want a Motorola phone. And this phone, very good, very capable. I really enjoy the one-handed use, the size, beautiful screen, nice and bright display, smooth experience, and I think they've done a good job with it. I just wish they wouldn't have raised the price, and I kind of wish a little bit more of those smart AI features would kind of trickle down to it, which I hope it does at some point. But at $549, I think is a pretty good opportunity if you're looking to pick one up. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts on it, if you have the Pixel 8, if you were looking at getting one, I'd love to talk about it. Go to the comment section. We can chat there. If you enjoyed the video, if you like the stuff, if you like the Pixel videos, you're in the right place. I cover them all the time, and this is one of the premier places on YouTube, I think, for covering Pixel products. So, of course, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.